Hello guys, welcome to Tanu's Cine Bites. I wanted to make a list of the top 8 TV shows I enjoyed watching this year. Too many to talk about, but let's get started. Please note that these shows are actually international shows. They are in English and various other languages. They are not in any particular order. So let's talk from number 1, which is Shogun. It's a show I actually had to watch twice because it is such a serious show that if you see it the first time, there are a lot of things you might not catch, but the second time you watch it, so much more of the storytelling and in the dialogue things are revealed to us. Great story about political history. It is based on true incidences that happened in Japan during the time of Shogun and during the time of samurais. If this is something really that appeals to you, you would enjoy the show. I personally am a huge fan of historical dramas and I loved the video game Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm really into the whole samurai thing and anything international related. Number 2, the Penguin. I wanted to talk so much about Penguin because it blew me off in the most unexpected way. I'm not a huge fan of DC Comics and I took a lot of time to actually watch the Penguin, but the acting, the makeup set, the department, everything, the screenplay, everything was done so beautifully that if you are a fan of DC Comics, even if you're not a fan of the Batman movie, just for the way the story comes out, reveals itself to you, the way the aesthetics are done, the way the cinematography is done, definitely Penguin is, I think, one of the best branches from the DC Comics shows that's come out. I've not watched most of the other superhero shows. I cannot compare to any of them. But Penguin definitely impressed me. Number 3, I want to talk about this show called Pachinko. It is actually Japanese, Korean, English series that's come out on Apple TV. It's based on a book and it's actually talking about the Korean War. It goes through a timeline of, I believe, from 1920s till 2001 or 1996 and talks about the immigrant Koreans who shifted to Japan during the Korean War, during the Japanese invasion. Then they moved to Japan and then the World War I happens, World War II happens, and then how these Korean immigrants learn to survive in Japan, and from Japan they immigrate to US. It's a beautiful story of a family and amazing story of the strength and endure a lot of women, Korean women and families had to endure to that time. Again, as I said, I'm a huge fan of historic dramas. I'm a huge fan of dramas in general. So this series actually appealed to me so much. If you are a fan of K-dramas, you must check this out because this is a different appeal and still has all the great elements of what Korean dramas are made of. Number 4 is Ripley from Netflix. It's a mini series. Again, I don't want to talk too much about the show, but go ahead and watch it. Again, for the great script, Andrew Scott is a brilliant actor. You can see Italy for all its beauty. I studied in Italy, so maybe that is why it appealed to me even more. I loved watching this place. I loved living there, and a lot of things about that place appeals to me. So Ripley is a show I really enjoyed. Number 5 is Presumed Innocence on Apple TV. This has Jake Gyllenhaal in the main role. It is based on a previous movie by Harrison Ford. Apple TV has brought some really stellar shows out this year. It is a courtroom crime drama thriller show. So it's about who's done it, who's got the motive to do this crime, and it's about this man, what he'll do to protect his family, at the same time how he's involved with the victim and the situation at hand. It keeps you on the edge for a very long time. It makes you think about what is right and what is wrong and what are the choices you will take in the end for your family. So if you're into courtroom drama, check out Presumed Innocence. Number 6, I want to talk about this Italian show. It's called My Brilliant Friend. It is based on novel by this author called Elena Ferrante. Actually, this year the 4th season came out, which is the final season. But go ahead and see all the seasons of the show My Brilliant Friend. Especially the women are going to really enjoy this show because it's about 2 girls, their childhood, their friendship from the age of 4 till the age of 54. Okay, so it's their whole life and the events that happen in their life over a span of decades and how it has affected their friendship. At the same time, the background and the setup of the show is in Italy, in Napoli, after the World War II. And you get to see a lot of what the life in Italy for these people were, for the more working class people. And whatever happened in Italy over those decades, how it has impacted these 2 girls, their friendship, their relationships. Fantastic book. If you get a chance to read the books, go ahead and read them. They're available on Audible. That's where I read them long time back. What I enjoyed so much more about this series is the 2 characters, how dynamic they are, and the relation between them is so crazy and so relatable. especially if you have sisters. The love-hate relationship, the frenemy relationship, it's something that is extremely relatable for women. It is a very serious show to watch if you're someone who enjoys understanding how people are affected in other parts of the world during a certain time in history, and especially if you're interested in European history, especially if you're interested in Italian history, you should check out this show. Number 7, let's talk about Dune Prophecy. Dune Prophecy is based on Frank Herbert's novel for the Dune series and his son Brian Herbert's later novels that came out. It takes place 10,000 years prior to the Dune movies that actually Dune 2 that came out this year, talking about the Bene Gesserit sisterhood. And if you're into science fiction things, you will enjoy this. Especially if you're into philosophical and science fiction genre, this show is something you will enjoy because it has 6 episodes only. It's an easy watch, just like Ripley. And it also stars Tabu in a very pivotal role. So check it out, especially if you liked the movie Dunes. So this would be a good show to watch as a history lesson to what Dune is all about. At number 8, I want to give this spot to Squid Games 2. With only 7 episodes, it's an easy watch. I finished it in one night. You must watch the show if you have already seen season 1 because it's a great continuation. Although there were a lot of elements of the show I enjoyed more than season 1 because it's so short and concise, but every similar themes to what season 1 was about still continues in season 2. There are a lot more flaws and imperfections in this show, but still it's a great watch. It is something totally different from what we have always seen or known, and that's why Squid Game was such a phenomenon. What I enjoyed about season 2 is that a lot of actors who were like cameo roles in season 1 are getting the extended roles now. They have a bigger role to play in this plot in season 2, and I liked how the story progresses forward and the way it ended as a cliffhanger for season 3. It's so frustrating and annoying, but at the same time you will definitely not miss season 3 once you watch season 2 because you want to know how this ends. I hope the director gives it a full justice and ends it really well whenever season 3 is coming out. There were a lot of other shows I wanted to talk about and add into this. Special mentions are to one show which is called I think it's called The Sex Life of College Girls. Actually, it is super funny. It's made by Mindy Kaling, and I really didn't think I would be into it. My sister got me to watch into it, but it is so freaking funny. Mindy Kaling is an absolute genius. Very relatable for girls, maybe, and maybe not so relatable. What I enjoyed so much about the show is there is one female Indian character, and mostly in American TV shows, they always show the female character as a fucking nerd who's just studying all the time with her specs and glasses, and she only cares about studies and being an A-grade student. And this character is the total opposite. I had a blast watching it. It is nothing too serious. It is just something all the girls sitting in your hostel rooms can sit and watch and enjoy with your karak and chai. Another show I wanted to talk about is Silo season 2 from Apple TV with Rebecca Ferguson, I believe that's her name. Again, based on the books, a dystopian world. Check it out if you have time, Silo. I'm sure there are a lot more shows that are really fantastic. I might have not had time to watch it. If there were some shows that you watched and enjoyed in particular, let me know in the comments below because maybe I missed it and I would really enjoy it. If you liked any of these shows, if you have seen any of the shows or you're interested to see any of these shows, let me know about that as well. I hope a lot more great series comes out next year. Looking forward to them. Until then, take care. Ciao, ciao.